to the property lane where it's everything real estate. My name is Catherine Nanteza and I'm your host tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are right here at Mbuya. I think you've been following this project. We first came here when they had just begun. There was no foundation on this side and there was no progress in the beginning when we came here with Andrew talking construction. As I speak today, the first phase has been completed and we are right here to launch the second phase of Crane Heights in Mbuya. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to take a walk with me and we will see what is being launched today. But apart from that, you're going to sit with me as we go through the launch.
And come and give your speech. And as she comes, we have also the chairperson of the National Fiscal Planning Registration Board. You know, I'm used to the old one. Yeah, he's also a lecturer at Makerere University and the president of the Uganda National Urban Forum. He's in the house. A round of applause. And we also have the host, the founder, and the engine behind all these vertical developments you're seeing in Nalia, Chireka, Chira, and now we've come to the prime locations, Kololo and Mbuya. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Mufadel. For now, I hand over to Madame Binta.
So, as cities like Kampala continue to grow, the demand for well-planned, sustainable and resilient infrastructure becomes even more critical. Developments such as this play a critical role in changing and shaping the future of our built environment, not only by providing housing, but also by setting standards in design, construction quality, and urban development. Of course, we know the statistics. This is hardly the audience I would want to tell. But you know, Uganda faces a housing deficit of 2.4 million units of housing. And it is said that by that trend, by 2035, it will be 4.5 million deficit in housing units. So to stand here and celebrate Crane Heights is a big achievement because Universal, you are playing a critical role to begin to close this gap in the housing sector. And we want to thank you very much for that. And I will say what I said in another forum, I will say it here, that when you begin to have the conversation of housing, it is not just a conversation of putting roofs over people's heads. It is actually a conversation of national development. And at the head of this conversation, at the forefront, should actually be the government, because it should be shaped and carried and delivered by government policy. If we look at countries, for instance, like Singapore, Singapore moved from a third world country to a first world country in one generation. And key in their policy was housing, because they understood that people will not own their country and become statesmen and stateswomen if they had no stake in their country. The only way they could have a stake in their country was to actually own a home. And we cannot say that as Uganda we're going to take Uganda forward if Ugandans don't have a stake in Uganda. If Ugandans don't own homes in Uganda, we shall feel like strangers and, you know, orphans and foreigners in our own land. So this is a key and critical conversation that we need to be having in spaces like this when we have key stakeholders. I am not afraid to have such conversations in such settings, because that is when you will get the ears that need to hear these conversations. Our neighboring country, Kenya, is leading by example. The government is key to see that they deliver affordable housing. Affordable housing cannot be purely left in the hands of private sector players, because at some point it is a social good and it should not purely be in the politics of profit, in the conversations of bottom line. And that is why, once again, I want to thank Universal for being able to deliver units that are affordable to the ordinary Ugandan.
For those of you who got a chance to move around, I would like later to ask what you found, especially to the contractors before you leave. One thing I've understood about Universal is they came when land was very expensive and building was expensive and no one was thinking, let's go vertical. Of course, National Housing had tried to do that. And a few people were willing to leave their standalones and come into the apartments. They took the risk. And there have been lessons along the way. They started somewhere in Chireka and they kept moving and they kept daring. Now they're in Nakasero, by the way. So while you're still looking at Mbuya that we are launching here, there is Nakasero, and so far it's the most affordable project. I mean, it starts as low as 477 million in Nakasero, where others are selling at $200,000 and more, or 300, 400. They are at, they're still selling in Uganda shillings. So a round of applause to Universal. And as I call the next speaker, I'd love to hear more about the joint ventures. Are they still possible with Universal? And then what are the payment terms? I'd like to call the company legal secretary, Mr. Kakama Simon.
So my purpose of being here is I'm supposed to be giving people the legal perspective as to ownership of condominiums. It's a wide spectrum, but I'll try as much as possible to be as brief as can be. Condominium apartments, even what we call our ordinary mizigo, can be converted into condominiums. But the typical setup as townships are developing and the populations are increasing, people look more to going to the sky. And here we'll have one apartment block. It has a common space. The common space is supposed to be the responsibility of the owners through their condominium society. And what we've been doing differently from other developers as Universal is that by the time the project is being launched, like this one, before we even do groundbreaking, we already have condominium titles in place. We already have drawings indicating the specifications of what everybody will be entitled to as a unit owner. Then we have the common spaces and the amenities. These could include the gym space, these could include the swimming pools, these could include the children's play area, if there are any gazebos that have been placed in the project. All these, the parking lot, the entrance, the staircases, all these are common spaces. And because as a country, this is a new concept that is in place, we've been having challenges of managing them. Because one, people are used to managing their affairs as individuals. So when it comes to them having a collective responsibility, then it becomes a challenge. 50,000 for a person who has paid over 100 million shillings becomes a challenge. And in that space, we have services running down. We have a property depreciating in a very short period of time. And the owners now want to run back to the developer and say, look here, you've given us an apartment, it is running down. But it is running down because you, who has invested a lot of money, I know that the biggest number of our clients take out facilities from banks. So if you can get into such a long-term responsibility to pay heavily through the bank because you're paying interest on a monthly basis, and you don't want to pay something little to make sure that your place is habitable, then it is a challenge. And I do believe that area as an association, the building review board as an entity of the government, the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, these are activities that you have to get heavily engaged in. so that people get to understand that because they're getting into a shared space, they have responsibilities towards each other, and these responsibilities are not actually just in the passing. The law provides for them. It is the responsibility of every unit owner to make sure that you pay for the maintenance of the common spaces.
My name is Jonathan Muganga, Engineer Jonathan Muganga. So I'm here to represent the engineering section of Universal. We are tasked with the conception of these different ideas you see here, the design, and subsequently we oversee the construction of these projects. Go straight to the project which we are about to launch today, Crane Heights. This development has 4 blocks in total. But currently, one block is already up, that is Block A. Block A and Block B are more or less similar. The only difference is that Block A has frontage to the road, and normally, as is the culture with Universal, we create a community. Besides creating living units, we create a community. So we integrate the convenience of commercial space, recreation, so that we develop a community. This project has a total of about 56 units per block. So there are about 15 one-bedroom units on this property, 19 units of the 2-bedroom. The unique bit about this development, especially for the 2-bed and 3-bed, it is a duplex kind of development, whereby the living space has 2 levels. So you could have the ground floor and maybe a bedroom and then 2 bedrooms on the upper side. So it gives you the feeling of a storage unit within the block, which is, I think, is a unique concept. We started it in earlier, and I think the clients liked it, so we brought it here for this development. There is Block C and D. Though Block C and D doesn't have the duplex nature, it is just all the living spaces on one level, and that one has about 57 units per block. So the whole development in this area has about 226 units. And I think if I'm to pick up on the statistics the president of UNAPSTEC shared, which is 2-point-something million, we are barely scratching the surface.
The representative of the government, regulatory authorities, our partners, area, UNAPEC, thank you very much for coming. Really appreciate you guys coming all the way here. Although I'm very bad at reading speeches. Okay, so please don't mind. Okay, I am Mufaddal, the managing director of Universal Group of Companies, and we have been selling and constructing apartments since 2014, 2015, and by God's grace and all the love of all of you here. We have team members as Simon Kakama, our lawyer, as mentioned, he's with us for almost 11, 12, 13 years, I guess. We have team members like Lydia, Annette, Edrine, Riwa, or like 7, 8, 10 years. Area Uganda has been a very strong partner of us, who has been with us for 10 years plus. As an investor in Uganda, our first understanding is how can we get into the system, talking to the associations. I think so Kathy will remember in the first days when we used to come and try and brainstorm more and more and more about affordable housing. Very few people like Annette, and there's a friend of mine who could not attend today, Charity, understood the concept of affordable housing. That how can we make the apartments more affordable for everybody in Uganda. As some of the numbers have been already spoken to all of you, that we have completed by God's grace almost 2,000 plus apartments, and we are under construction almost 800 to 1,000 apartments at this point of time. And it could not be possible without the love from all of you all. We are the only company right now who has a variety of apartments in multiple locations, and every location you can choose whether you want a 1-bedroom, you want a 2-bedroom, or you want a 3-bedroom apartment. So I really don't know of anybody any other developer who can give that to you. and we would like that more and more developers are are coming forward to give a variety to the clientele, because as our friend in Unibec has mentioned, 2.4 million housing deficit. We are nowhere near. So we should be promising, and we should take this as a positive sign where clients can come and buy and will get more value for money. Universal apartments. When we started off this juggernaut of condominium apartments in Uganda, that time there was a lot of resistance from a lot of people, where people did not understand the apartment concept. People were like, how can you live above the other person? But we are thankful that Uganda is a very receptive economy. The people are very loving, and everybody was wanting to be a part of learning process. As we all know, Uganda is a very educated country, and people are wanting to learn every day something new, which made it a lot easier for us to explain the product, explain the information, and then people understood and they appreciated, kept on booking, and which has brought us here, where we have already sold out phase 1, and we are launching phase 2. And all the channel partners, we would like to call them channel partners, not brokers, is that we are having, apart from the commission which was mentioned by Annette, is that every unit all the channel partner sells. The problem is, okay, I have a problem with these festive discounts, okay, because what happens is that if you we are not buying something, please don't feel bad, anyone, okay, we are not buying something from Mbuya, you understand? So when you're buying an apartment, my brother, at that point of time, the product is designed and is conceptualated with keeping in mind the final price. So when you have the final price already in mind, in affordable housing, it is very difficult. It is very difficult to have a fluctuating price.
Yeah.
You understand? If already we are working on a very thin line, see, like Annette mentioned, in affordable housing, people say, oh, why are we giving us only 2-3 billion? The problem is, all this goes back to the client to pay. See, anybody, whoever is giving you a discount or whoever is giving you, the problem is, okay, I have a problem with these festive discounts, okay, because what happens is that if we are not buying something, please don't feel bad, anyone, okay, we are not buying something from Mbuya, you understand? So when you're buying an apartment, my brother, at that point of time, the product is designed and is conceptualated with keeping in mind the final price. So when you have the final price already in mind, in affordable housing, it is very difficult. It is very difficult to have a fluctuating price.
Yeah.
You understand? If already we are working on a very thin line, see, like Annette mentioned, in affordable housing, people say, oh, why are we giving us only 2-3 billion? The problem is, all this goes back to the client to pay. See, anybody, whoever is giving you a discount or whoever is giving you an incentive or commission, it's not going to go from his pocket. Ultimately, the client has to pay. If we increase the cost of the apartment right now, the client's cost increases. If we give a discount, the cost is borne by someone. So we try and get the pricings right from the start to make sure that we don't have to fluctuate the pricings at the end. I hope I'm trying to answer your question.
Yeah, and there's another one here.
Yes, boss.
Thank you so much, Mufada. That was very insightful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, all the brilliant speakers. My question is, where does Universal Properties see itself in 15 to 20 years' time? Thank you so much.
The first and the very basic answer is that in 15 to 20 years' time, Universal is still here. It's going to be here, my brother. Okay? And Universal, as our chief guest is here, would like to have more partnerships with the government organizations, just like how our bigger economy Kenya is doing. We would like to partner with you people and like to partner with the banks. If they have any kind of ideas, we would like to come and sit with them in the room and give housing to all the Ugandans, as many as possible, and make sure that it is at an affordable price. Because as Kathy mentioned, in Nakasero, we want people to buy an apartment for themselves, which at a certain point was very difficult to understand. So making it more conducive, more attractive for people to buy apartment and live there, which is only a thought for a lot of people, just trying to make their dream come true.
Thank you, UNABSEC, and please continue sending us quality professionals. And thank you, Universal. Next, we have our special guest, Dr. Muhwezi Derek. Yeah, it gets confusing. Thank you, Dr. Derek. And before you go, probably you'll be handing over to the special guest. The last gift goes to our special development, represented by Commissioner Paddy. I don't know how we can do that. Yeah, I think that works. Thank you so much.
Great pleasure that I announce the official opening of the prices of Crane Heights. The one bedroom, 178 million, 182 million, and 196 million.
Adrian, where is the
in
difference?
price is because of the difference in size.
Okay.
Yes. Then the two bedroom is 311 million, 318 million, and 349 million. The three bedroom, 372 million, 392 million, and 405 million.
That's all we had for you on the Property Lane. Keep watching the Property Lane. See you next time.
The Property